So in the latest chapter of DanDaDan, we are witnessing what is, in my opinion, even more proof that Count Saint Germaine is going to be the main villain of whatever saga that we're entering, because there is no way that someone would be able to be aware that Momo is this small without him interfering, or even the fairy tale card interfering. Or imagine the fairy tale card continues to play as some kind of side villain while Count Saint Germaine has all of his power. That would be kind of insane. But my point is, chapter 168, there's someone here, is just more definitive proof that something is working in the shadows here to continually move pieces around in a way that's beneficial to them. But please make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content. I do DanDaDan videos every week when the chapter comes out, as well as other kinds of videos and other series that you may read weekly or monthly. So if you want to, go ahead, and most importantly, thank you for watching. Now, it's clear from this chapter that Momo being small will not be as easy as we thought it was. I mean, last chapter we did learn a couple beneficial things. For one, despite being a lanky nerd that literally has had his build questioned throughout the entire series, I mean, Okarun has finally proven that all of those battles, all of these hardships have made his physical body pretty strong. Or at the very least, Turbo Granny's power has begun to rub off on him from the amount of times he's switched back and forth into them, because his bully tries to embarrass him all the way back from chapter like 1, by the way, which the fact that we brought this guy in just so we could show how far Okarun has come since the beginning of the first saga is just beautiful writing. I absolutely love that. This guy thinks he's gonna clown on Okarun, and of course, you know what? Momo's not here to save him from this moment, so he kind of just has to suck it up and deal with it. And even though he thinks he's gonna lose, he does. That fucking loser. And it is the most satisfying thing in the world to know that even in the 100-meter dash, whatever that was, the handball throw, the long jump, the side steps, whatever presidential fitness test they're doing, Okarun is the biggest Chad in the room. And it's just beautiful to see that. And I was so happy to see that last chapter. And that pretty much answers all of my fears as to if Okarun was going to be able to defend himself without Turbo Granny. But it seems like even though he's not like, you know, crazy buff or, you know, maybe crazy powerful or can do some serious damage with his straight up bare hand knuckles, we haven't seen that yet, but that would also be pretty insane. It is nice to know that he's not going to be completely defenseless. Now we get back to Momo this chapter as we pick up from her perspective as she went to go look for that old man or fairy, whatever she saw in the library. And she's kind of striking out in this. It's just, I mean, you have to imagine here, this library to like an ant is humongous. It would probably take like a week to clear this entire library. It's crazy. It's a big library. So imagine two tiny ants in a humongous library trying to find each other. Not easy, especially when you can consider like you can be up on shelves, up on bookshelves. If the old man is trying to hide from her, which I imagine always trying to stay out of sight. It's not easy. But the good news is that Momo can use her powers at full size, which is one, insane, because she basically can just imitate Spider-Man at this point, just Miles Morales and all over the place. But you gotta know that at least our two characters, despite the massive nerfs that we may have been dealt, are still able to adapt to the situations at hand and prove that everything that we've come this far to achieve wasn't taken away from us. Our bodies may have been changed, but you can't change our spirits. As lame as that sounds. Now, the big problem that's presented this chapter that makes things not as easy for Momo to deal with, besides just trying to find a needle in a giant haystack, is an eerie figure walks into the library with a knife. And at first, this first shot, I legitimately thought this was Reiko Kashima, the strongest yokai in the entire world that we dealt with back in the Space Globalist arc, and not the crazy, insane clown makeup Reiko Kashima. I mean the no makeup, quote unquote, you know, beautiful Reiko Kashima that we see at the very end of the Space Globalist arc. I really thought she was back to stir up some trouble. Maybe Momo being small and validated her and Okarun's love somehow, and now she's back on the hunt. Who knows? but it's not. It's just some random student that we don't know her name. We don't know who she is. We've never seen her before. Even Momo doesn't know who she is. So at the same time, they're not just being creepy for being creepy's sake, you know, like they're not just, you know, Momo's not just being small witnessing a drug deal or something, you know, that would be just everyday life. Maybe not so much in Japan, but you get what I'm saying. She knows Momo is little and she's searching directly for her. And I imagine with that little pocket knife or shank that she's got, she doesn't have very good intentions. We'll leave it at that. And it begs the question, something that also Momo questions herself. How the hell does this person, one, know that I'm in the library and is looking for me? And two, how do they know that I'm small? There's only a select group of people that know that I have turned small, my friends, and maybe some of the delinquents from the end of the Danmanra arc. But this says to me that I believe Count Saint Germaine is at it again. We know that during the entire Danmanra arc, Unjizuma, the cop, all of these different moving pieces that were going on, especially with the fairy tale card being hidden inside the game board, it was very clear Count Saint Germaine manipulated everyone in this perfect way to just achieve what he wanted. He ended up getting the fairy tale card's power and at the same time was able to help Umbrella Boy awaken and have Unjizuma's power do all of the work for him, essentially. And we've seen Count Saint Germaine interact with our characters and mess with our memories, and he was with the Kerr during the Space Globalist arc. He is a major player in the events before and the events to come. If this random girl just knows about small Momo and is trying to kill her or find her, I have to imagine that is the work of Count Saint Germaine. Now, I already had the theory. Definitely check out the video if you haven't already. I fully believe that now that Turbo Granny is separated from the group, it's possible that she wanted to return to all of us, but instead Count Saint Germaine was added and actually got a hold of Turbo Granny and her power. And now Count Saint Germaine is messing with our group of protagonists again for some other reason, or maybe he has yet to fight Turbo Granny and is trying to use Momo Okarun to bring Turbo Granny out. All I know is Count Saint Germaine cannot be trusted. He's a paranormal collector that will do anything possible to get what he needs, especially find the concept of DanDaDan, and whatever that may be, it's probably not good. With this game of cat and mouse, Momo is trying to push books over. They are really doing their best to set the stakes of how dangerous this could be and how much violent intentions this girl has, and she's screaming yield to me, but thankfully the classroom bell, the period ending bell, goes off, saved by the bell again. Momo is able to escape because the girl needs to go back to class, and somehow she Spider-Man slips her way out of that final book and doesn't get caught by this random girl. In that moment, Momo's only question is, who the hell is this? Which again is my question. I'm sure it's your question, and I really don't know, because if it doesn't have anything to do with Count Saint Germaine, all I know is that even though not much happened this chapter, I am really excited to see what this new arc and this new saga holds, because it has already presented a large range of problems that may happen from everything going on, right? Count Saint Germaine as the biggest mystery of everything, potentially pulling the strings, making bad things happen to us all for his own gain to try and get a hold of Turbo Granny and potentially every yokai and paranormal entity in the world. Maybe this is Reiko Kashima, and this is Count Saint Germaine's ability of using Reiko Kashima. Wouldn't that be crazy if even Reiko Kashima, the strongest yokai in the world that was able to take down an entire Kerr invasion, was defeated by Count Saint Germaine and her power is being used by him? That would be utterly insane, but I wouldn't even put it past it because, again, despite not much happening yet, I think we're really taking our time to build this strong foundation. Will Momo be able to find this old man fairy? Will this old man fairy even have any way to help us? Is he a fairy? Is he just another person that was turned small and has been small for years, just like the dude who was stuck in the Danmanra game for years? He didn't even know how old he was. You know what? There's a lot of questions that are being asked and are being put forth with little to no answers that I'm definitely sure are going to be explored throughout this entire arc. The one thing I am happy about getting out of this chapter, out of everything that did or did not happen, is we learned that Okarun and Momo, despite losing pieces of themselves, are adapting and still becoming strong people, and their development hasn't been hindered. If anything, it's been pushed to its limit. Okarun is now a physical powerhouse, a Giga Chad, and is going to be fulfilling the tank roles, it seems, of the party. And despite Momo being in a small body, she's still able to call forth the entire power of her psychic abilities, which means that Momo is still able to dish out the strong as hell Momo Tri-Beam, and Okarun is, you know, just gonna keep working in that gym, keep putting on the pounds, and eventually he'll have the same kind of body type as Toji Fushiguro from Jujutsu Kaisen. I was very worried about our protagonists going forward, but now I'm not so worried to see that they're both doing well, and I think that's what I can get out of both of these chapters here. All I know is I don't know nothing. I don't know anything as to what we're going to be experiencing in these next couple chapters, but I will tell you one thing, I'm looking forward to it, and I will be here to cover it every week. So definitely make sure you hit that like button. Please subscribe if you want to not miss the future DanDaDan videos that I do. Check out some more polished DanDaDan videos that will be showing up on my main channel. Definitely check them out. Most importantly, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you continue to watch whatever other series you may be reading, weekly or monthly, guys. Peace.